I've got Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. I'm looking at Babe Herman. Have you heard of him? I've read about him in books, not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. This guy was a pretty good player, pretty good hitter. So I'm a baseball historian looking at baseball players of the past, focusing on guys 300 or better career batting average. How about Babe Herman? 324 career batting average. So last video I did, I looked from 1926 through 19, let's see what I did. Yeah, 31. So I looked at 6 years. Pretty good 6 years. He had 2 seasons, 200 hits, 217 in 1929 and 241 1930. Those are really good years. He went 5 for 5. What do I mean? 100 runs scored, 200 hits, 100 RBIs, 300 or better batting average, and 300 or better total bases. Both 1929, 1930, he went 5 for 5. He exceeded all those numbers in those categories. So let's look from 1932 through the end of his career, okay? Which would be 1945. 1932 gets 148 games, 577 at bats, 188 hits, bats 326. So 7 years, 6 of them, 300 or better batting average. 326, 1932. 1933, 508 at bats, 147 hits, 289. So he's got 8 years. Let's see. 7, 8 years. 6 of them, 300 or better. 1934, 467 at bats, bats 304. 7th time out of 9 years, 300 or better. 1935, 430 at bats, bats 316. 8 times out of 10 years, 300 or better. 1936, down year, 380 at bats, 279. 1937, 17 games, not much, bats 300. And then from 1937 to 1945, he went 8 years without playing. But for some odd reason, in 1945, he's 42 years old, plays 37 games, and bats 265. So his career is over. Okay. 13 years in the big leagues. Here are the numbers. 1,552 games. Not enough for me. You need 2,500 games to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2,000 to 2,500. 5,603 at bats. He scores 882 runs. Okay, not quite 1,000. He gets 1,818 hits. That's a good ratio of hits per game played. 1,500 games, roughly 1,800 hits. So more than a hit a game, average. 399 doubles, good amount. 110 triples, 181 homers, 997 RBIs, not quite 1,000. He did have 2 seasons, 100 RBIs. Career average, 324. That is good. Out of 13 years, 10 seasons, 300 or better. Listen to this. He had a 381 season once. 381 batting average. And that's legitimate. It was a 569 at bats. That's 381. And then he had another season, 614 at bats. He batted 393. This guy can hit, Babe Herman. 383 on base career. 532 slugging. That's good. If you're over the 500 in slugging career, that's good. 2,980 total bases. Does he deserve the Baseball Hall of Fame? No, because he did not play enough games. Well, listen to this. 1,500 games plus 1,800 hits. Double it. 3,000 games like Ty Cobb and some of these other guys. Carl Yastrzemski, Henry Aaron, they're all over the 3,000 game mark. So if you doubled Babe Herman's games from 1,500 to 3,000, how many hits would he have had? Well, he had 1,800 hits, roughly, in 1,500 games. So double the games, 3,000, and then double the hits, 1,800, double that. What is that? 3,600 hits. He was on that pace, but he would have to have played 3,000 games. Could he have gotten 3,600 hits? I think this guy was good enough to do it. But he retired early. He retired at age 34 and didn't quite play enough games. So he's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. But you know what's strange? Early Combs played about the same number of games as Babe Herman and had basically same number of hits. Did you know that? Early Combs made the Baseball Hall of Fame. Let me point it out. Early Combs. Let's see if we can find it. I've got him here. 1,455 games. Babe Herman, 1,552. So Babe Herman played 100 more games than Early Combs. But this is what got me. Early Combs. Let's see, I've got him here. Let's go back. I've got it right here. Here's the contrast I want to make between Early Combs and Babe Herman. Babe Herman played 1,552 games. I said that. Early Combs played 1,455. 100 less. Okay? Herman ended up with 1,818 hits. Combs, 1,866. It's about 50 hits more. So Combs, 100 games less, 50 hits more. But they both, okay, Combs, career average, 325. Okay. His highest batting average was 356. Babe Herman, career average 324. So they're similar, right? Similar in games, similar in hits, similar in career batting average. The highest batting average for Herman, 393 and a 381. Combs, 356, 345. What am I trying to prove here? Combs made the Baseball Hall of Fame. Why? Herman did not. But they're similar in stats. Why did early Combs make the Baseball Hall of Fame and Babe Herman did not? When they're both similar in stats. I think it's unfair to Babe Herman. If Combs gets in, Herman needs to get in. Combs played for the Yankees. How about the runs scored? Herman had 882. Combs had 1,186. So Combs was better in scoring runs. Was that the factor for Combs? I wonder. Herman had 2,980 total bases. Combs, 2,657. Was that a factor? Herman had more total bases and early Combs. But Combs had more runs scored than Herman. But what I'm trying to get at is they're both similar players with 324 average and a 325 average, both of them. Both have the 1,800 hits, both have the 1,500. It's just that Combs scored more runs. Was that the factor? And also, he was on the Yankees during the 1920s. I think it's unfair for Babe Herman not to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame if early Combs gets in. That's my thought. All right. We're done. We are done with Babe Herman. Who's next? Again, I like to look at guys with career batting averages over 300. You know who's an interesting character here? 13 years in the league. Mickey Cochran. Have you heard of him? He's next. Talk to you later. I'm out.